Welcome to the Sacred Emergence Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Wong, and I'm so thrilled that you're here. This is a place where you'll be guided to living your most aligned life so that your truest, most radiant self can emerge. We'll be jamming on topics ranging from spirituality, entrepreneurship, to wellness and lifestyle design, and everything in between that can support you to grow, evolve, and shine, all the while not taking ourselves too seriously. So if you're ready to step into your leadership, break through limiting beliefs, own all of who you are, and expand in abundance, grab yourself your faith cup of tea and let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Sacred Emergence Podcast. It's Michelle Wong here. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. So happy to have you here. And if you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back. And just an advance apologies. There's a little bit of construction around where I'm recording. And so if you hear a little bit of knocking, it's a sound of a hammer. But hopefully that will not interfere with the recording. Anyway, so today's a solo episode. You get to have me. And oh my goodness. So this is Memorial Day weekend in the US. And I was just thinking back to 2 weeks ago when I did my last solo episode on Prove It moments and just where I am now. And wow, like things have shifted at like warp speed in terms of like where I'm at. And so I thought I'd just give you a few updates and, share what's going on in my world. And so earlier this week, there's just like everything that's been happening is just happening so fast. That earlier this week, I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, like what's the next thing I need to be doing? What's the next thing I need to be doing? And my mind was pretty blank. And I was like, okay, you know what? Like the next thing I need to be doing is to let's just sit back and take a chill. And when we are in go mode, we often get swept up in the energy of things. And sometimes it's good. Like we're in the momentum, there's like, the highs and the lows or the ebbs and the flows. And sometimes when we're riding that wave, like you want to like ride that momentum, right? Like I'm on fire, I'm going, like this is great. But I felt like for me, I haven't had like an actual like, let's just take some time and just relax a little bit. And so I gave myself some time, and it wasn't like relaxing for me. It was just not the permission, but just like the acknowledgement of let's just take a step back and relax, right? It doesn't mean like I'm not going to, I don't know, get a little bit of work done here and there. I'm not going to check email. It was just like, let's not always have to be on, and let's just kind of take it easy a little bit. And by doing that, I was able to literally just sit on the couch and just stare. Stare out the window, just take a few deep breaths. And when I did my yoga, I just kind of was like in my body, right? And this is like really good, especially, if you're a woman listening, like just tapping back into our body, tapping into like our feminine flow and just being in our body, like, and just tuning back in is just so important. And I just remember when I was doing my yoga, I was like in down dog. I was staring at the stove in my kitchen upside down. And I got emotional because it hit me like, and I said this out loud, oh my gosh, like it's been 2 months since I started working with my my mentor by signing up for her year-long program. And every month she drops like a really amazing epic program on something related to either it's money, to relationships, to business, like all of it. So it's been 2 months since I signed up. And then not only that, it's been maybe like a month since I joined her 6-week mastermind program. And so much has shifted since then. And so in the past 2 weeks, when I was in down dog, I was like, in the past 2 weeks, like, I feel like everything is catching up to where I'm at. And it has not been comfortable at all. And so it was in my surrender mode of just like taking that pause, taking that break, and looking back, that I was able to see the timing of events that occurred. And I'm just like, whoo, like I am in it. I am so in it. And So last time when I did my my Prove It moment episode, I shared like how there's a job opportunity that came up, and I was really like hemming and hawing, like wasn't sure if this was really in alignment for me, and decided, you know what, like I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna say no to the opportunity because I really, really trust in my dreams and in my vision and the direction I'm going. And I just felt like it was like the universe was like giving me a prove it moment to test whether or not I was really sincere about my belief in myself. And then, uh, and so that happened on a Friday. And then on Saturday, I had a beautiful day. It was a gorgeous weekend in Seattle. I spent it with my then boyfriend. And then that night we broke up. And so I've been in like almost in like this like it's been an interesting experience, to be honest, because I'm not going to get into like the details of, the relationship or anything like that. But what I always ask when I hit bumps in the road and things are just like feeling like there's a lot of resistance or like friction, and I'm like, I'm not sure, I always ask like the divine, like, let what needs to happen for the greatest good for all, including myself, right? And those involved. Because I really believe that what is good for me is good for other people, and what's good for other people is good for the planet and for the universe. And so, what's happening is like I was thinking back, and like 2 months ago, I joined the year-long program, the Alpha Femme Experience, and my energy shifted, my outlook shifted, and just like where I'm heading started to shift, and my beliefs started to shift. And I feel like it took almost like the 2 months for the energy to catch up and be like, okay, if you really want things to shift, then you have to be ready for like what's coming up. And things that aren't meant to happen, that aren't meant to be in your world, things like that are ready to go, it's going. And so it's almost like my energy is up leveling, and it's not necessarily comfortable. And so I'm just thinking back to like all of that just happened within a very short time period. And I'm just sitting in all of it. And of course, like there's emotional processing. And like, I trust what's unfolding for me. And crazy because in all of this, I'm like, what's shifted for me is like, I shared a Facebook post and I sent it out to my newsletter. Like, I am all in, like I'm all in my dreams and my life and the direction that I'm heading. And what does that mean? Like, I'm all in. It's like, I'm going to do what it takes. I'm all in. Like, I'm all in. Like, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to play small, and I'm all in. And so yesterday, I've already invested in this year-long program, and I think I'm all in also means that I'm not going to do what's logical. I'm not going to do what is predictable. I'm not going to do what necessarily makes sense. And I just feel like on this journey, I'm all in. So if I need more support, I'm going to get more support. If I feel like I need but if I desire more one-on-one coaching to help me get to where I want to go a little bit quicker, easier, faster, just having a little bit more support, which is so needed, then I'm going to invest in it. I'm going to invest in myself. And so yesterday I said yes to coaching with this beautiful woman who I've been following, and she's in alignment with my mentor. She works with my mentor, so it's just everything is in beautiful alignment, and it also comes with a mastermind, and it's perfect because the mastermind that I'm currently in is ending soon. And so like I just said yes to myself, and it's the most amount of money I've ever invested in, and I'm taking the leap. And so it's scary, and at the same time, I know I'm being carried. I know that energetically, because I said no to a possible job and the relationship fell away, and there's other aspects of my life that are slowly falling away. Nothing's happened yet, but like I just know things are coming, things are shifting. that like I have to prepare myself. Like I have to like have that energetic support and like human support to really help guide me into the next level of my life, into the next direction. And so it's exciting, a little bit terrifying, and very emotional. And like I'm all for it, because one thing I've learned is like if I want it all, I have to be able to walk with all my emotions, with the joy, right, the excitement, and also with like the sadness and the grief that comes along with life. And I'm just trusting it all. And I'm sharing all of this in a very cerebral process. It wouldn't make sense if I'm like crying and then talking to you. But like I've processed a lot over the past few weeks, and everything is done with love, with a higher good, with a greater good, and so everything is good. And I honestly like I can't be any happier. And so that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. And in that process, just things that's happening in my life. Like I really had to tap in. Like it was literally maybe like a week ago, I had to tap in and think about like one-on-one coaching, and like, how do I want to show up for one-on-one coaching for my offering? Because I was really sitting into, is this something that I really want to do? Because it takes time, energy, and effort to coach someone, to mentor someone. And what does that look like for me in terms of how do I want to offer that for somebody else, to, have this container of trust and vulnerability. And we're building a relationship with client to coach. But when I tapped in, I got really, really excited, because with this journey I'm on, I can only see like one of my dreams and my vision is impacting more women, to impact more women to step into their inner confidence and their inner leadership through courage. And like, we all have dreams, we all have goals, we all have visions for our lives. And sometimes it's scary. And sometimes like we don't even know what it is yet, but we know that there's something more for us. And I've been there, and I'm still on my journey, and we're all still on our journey. Even when there are coaches out there who look like they've made it, they're still on their journey. And so for me, it's like, if I talk about inner leadership, if I'm leading myself, then I can definitely be of service to other women. And so I don't know if I shared this on my past episode. Honestly, like when I do my episodes, it's almost like this streaming, and just whatever comes through. And then when it's published, I don't really remember what I've said before. So I don't know if I mentioned that I've opened doors for one-on-one coaching. I'm like super excited about it. So if anyone's listening, and if you're feeling called, send me a message. I'll put a link in the show notes. But like I have at this current price point that I'm offering, I have room for 3 people. And then after that, the prices will change, just because it's about growth, right? When we are coaching in this journey, it's about growth. And this is how leaders show up. Leaders lead by leading themselves and by believing in themselves. And leadership doesn't mean going through it alone. It's really about having a community to grow with. And then through our leadership, we lead each other. And it requires trust, and it requires confidence and the courage. It requires trust, first of all, in yourself. And then it requires trust and confidence in the person that you're saying yes to. So if you want more details to that, please reach out. I am like calling in my people that are meant to work with me. And I'm just like, I'm so excited. So if you're feeling it, I would love to talk to you. And then the Courage Collective is opening its doors again. I've actually already opened it for enrollment. We've been a month in, and I was like, oh, this is so juicy. I want more women to be in the group. And so we meet twice a month and over Zoom. And then in between, there's things that I pop in, and then there's the container itself in the community of women supporting women, and it's just so beautiful. And so if you've been wanting to have more connection with really heart-centered and just amazing women who we all have our stories and we all have our journeys that we're going through and going on, I should say, then the Courage Collective might be a good fit for you. And there is a VIP option that I opened up for. So if you feel like you're not ready to do one-on-one coaching, but you just want to do like something more a la carte, in the Courage Collective container, you can sign up for a VIP option where you can work one-on-one with me. And then those who are choosing to do private coaching, you'll get the Courage Collective included. And it's a minimum of 3 months of working together. And then what was the other piece? Oh, and then I am including a 90-minute one-on-one human design session. Even if you've already done like a human design reading session with me, we can definitely go deeper and look at how we can integrate this more into your life. And then we can expand and like integrate all the different pieces. So it's almost like the 90 minutes is more like an intensive. But anyway, yeah, so that's where I'm at. It's, crazy, just like, it's all about energetic attunement. Like it's all energy, which is like, it's a feeling. It's really hard to like to tangibly talk about. But when I said no to the job and when the relationship ended and just like, and just even those two pieces and knowing what's going to unfold in the next few months in my life or, or even a few more months, I feel for the first time like I am being held, like there's just energetic support. Because what's shifted for me is like I'm not operating from a place of fear. And it's a very subtle distinction, and it's kind of hard to explain. But in the past, and I've shared it in my past episodes, like I'd be on cycles of, going back to corporate because I got scared, and then quit corporate, and then really wanting to like do my own thing, and then it doesn't work out, or like maybe I'm just not patient enough, so I go back into corporate, and then like there's just like in and out. And now what's different is like I've been 2 years out of corporate. I'm in my third year, and I'm more clear than I've ever been. And what's different now is like I have clarity in my business and the direction I really want to go. I think for the past 2 years, I was still kind of figuring out my way and trying different things. And now I like, it's just like not a straight line, but I know where I'm heading, and I know how I want to get there, and I know the impact I really want to make, and I know my messaging. And so that, sometimes that takes time. It takes trial and error. It takes like falling and getting back up. And what's really different now is I think it's because I've been 2 years into my entrepreneurship journey. And it wasn't like sometimes during the past 2 years, I've been sitting on the sidelines, and now I'm like, no, I'm no longer sitting on the sidelines. I'm all in. And because of that, the choices that I've made, the big leaps that I've made, I know I'm being energetically carried. And then I have like the support as well, right? Because I'm investing in coaching and mentorship and in programs that I feel are really allowing me to shift and transform and up level. And it would be so selfish if I kept that all to myself, right? And so, investing in coaching it needs to be a financial investment, because there's accountability and there's transformation, and the accountability needs to have a financial attachment to it. Otherwise, it's like people giving you free advice. It doesn't make sense, right? And I know that when I'm really investing in a program, like the more financially invested I am, the more I show up. And that's been true all the time. And so, and obviously like, it has to make sense, it has to like not be so terrifying that it's like you can't eat or sleep or drink water or anything like that. But yeah, that's the energy I'm currently in, and I'm all for it. So yeah, a lot is happening during Memorial Day weekend, or at least the 2 weeks that led up to it. And I trust that everyone who's listening, you who are listening, that you're doing well. And my sense is like what's happening, with the global pandemic and all that is like things are starting to lift. And it's not all going to be like easy breezy moving forward. There's a lot of shifts and transitions and adjustments. But I believe we all needed this time off somehow, some way, some shape, or another. And it's been good. So, sending you so much love, good health, good vitality, good energy. And if you have any questions, please reach out. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thanks for tuning in, and love you. Thank you so much. Take care. Join our free private Facebook group community, Sacred Emergence, to receive more connection, guidance, and support, and take part in our 5-day Inner Confidence Challenge to not only boost your confidence, but to help activate your inner leadership. Details in the show notes. Thank you for listening to the Sacred Emergence podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and thank you in advance for sharing this with others who can benefit. Until next time.